So, hello and welcome to Read Aloud with Zeke, episode 4. Yes. Today I'll be reading Stone Soup by Marcia Brown, I think. Okay. It's just the front picture right there. Okay, let's see. Stone Soup, an old tale told and pictured by Marcia Brown. 3 soldiers trudged down a road in a strange country. They were on their way home from the wars. Besides being tired, they were hungry. In fact, they had eaten nothing for 2 days. It's the 3 soldiers walking down a long road. "How I would like a good dinner tonight," said the first. "And a bed to sleep in," said the second. "But all that is impossible," said the third. "We must march on." On they marched. Suddenly, ahead of them, they saw the lights of a village. "Maybe we'll find a bite to eat there," said the first. "And a loft to sleep in," said the second. "No harm in asking," said the third. Now the peasants of that place feared strangers. When they heard that 3 soldiers were coming down the road, they talked among themselves. They are getting ready to go to the town and ask them some stuff. "Here come 3 soldiers. Soldiers are always hungry, but we have little enough for ourselves." And they hurried to hide their food. They pushed sacks of barley under the hay in the lofts. They lowered buckets of milk down the walls. They are hiding their food. They spread old quilts over the carrot bins. They hid their cabbages and potatoes under the bed. They hung their meat in the cellars. They hid all they had to eat. Then they waited, hiding the carrot, lettuce. They're hiding everything. Potatoes. The soldiers stopped first at the house of Paul and Francois. "Good evening to you," they said. "Could you spare a bit of food for 3 hungry soldiers?" "We have no food for ourselves for 3 days," said Paul. Francois made a sad face. "It has been a poor harvest." There they are, Paul and Francois, 3 soldiers, asking them. The 3 soldiers went on to the house of Albert and Louis. "Could you spare a bit of food, and have you some corner where we could sleep for the night?" "Oh, no," said Albert. "We gave all we could spare to soldiers who came before you." "Our beds are full," said Louis. There they are again, asking people for stuff. Said no. Okay. At Vincent and Marie's, the answer was the same. It had been a poor harvest, and all the grain must be kept for seed. So it went all through the village. Not a peasant had any food to give away. They all had good reasons. One family had used the grain for feed. Another had an old sick father to care for. All had too many mouths to fill. Just explaining. They're all saying, we don't have any food. They hid it. I know they don't have a lot, but they hid their food. The villagers stood in the street as they sighed. They looked as hungry as they could. So they're trying to act hungry. The 3 soldiers talked together. There they are. They're all talking about it. Okay. Then the first soldier called out, "Good people," the peasants drew near. "We are 3 hungry soldiers in a strange land. We have asked you for food, and you have no food. Well then, we'll have to make stone soup." The peasants stared. Stone soup? That would be something to know about. Talking about stone soup. Title of the book. Okay. "First we'll need a large iron pot," the soldier said. The peasants brought the largest pot they could find. How else to cook enough, "That's none too large," said the soldiers, "but it will do. And now, water to fill it and fire to heat it." Making fire, get in the pot. It took many buckets of water to fill the pot. A fire was built on the village square, and the pot was set to boil. They got it going. Okay, and now, if you please, 3 round, smooth stones. Those were easy enough to find. The peasants' eyes grew round as they watched the soldiers drop the stones in the pot. 1, 2, 3. They're going in. "Any soup needs salt and pepper," said the soldiers as they began to stir. Children ran to fetch salt and pepper. "Stones like these generally make good soup, but if there were carrots, it would be much better." "Why, I think I have a carrot or 2, said Francois, and off she ran. She came back with her apron full of carrots from the bin beneath the red quilt. So they got salt and pepper. Francois got the carrots that they were hiding. They're making a bunch of food. "A good stone soup should have cabbage," said the soldiers as they sliced the carrots into the pot. "But no use asking for what you don't have." I think I could find a cabbage somewhere, said Marie. She hurried home. Back she came with 3 cabbages from the cupboard under the bed. And there they are, mixing up the carrots, bringing back the cabbage from under the bed. If we only had a bit of beef and a few potatoes, this soup would be good enough for a rich man's table. The peasants thought that over. They remembered their potatoes and the sides of beef hanging in the cellars. They ran to fetch them. A rich man's soup, and all from a few stones. It seemed like magic. Look at them. They're all getting everything. Man, it's not really stone soup. It's more like vegetable soup. Ah, sighed the soldiers as they stirred in the beef and potatoes. If we only had a little barley and a cup of milk, this soup would be fit for the king himself. Indeed, he asked for just such a soup when last he dined with us. The peasants looked at each other. What? The soldiers had entertained the king. Well, but no use asking for what you don't have, the soldiers sighed. The peasants brought their barley from the lofts. They brought their milk from the wells. The soldiers stirred the barley and the milk into the steaming broth while the peasants stared. Look at that. They're bringing barley. They got milk. They're stirring in everything. Stirring in everything. At last the soup was ready. All of you shall taste, the soldier said, but first a table must be set. Great tables were placed in the square, and all around were lighted torches. So look at this. 3 soldiers still making soup, setting up tables. They got the torches going. Looks like a fancy dinner. Such a soup, how good it smelled. Truly fit for a king. But then the peasants asked themselves, would not such a soup require bread and a roast and cider? Soon a banquet was spread, and everyone sat down to eat. Never had there been such a feast. Never had the peasants tasted such soup and fancy, made from stones. Look at that. They're all enjoying their dinner. The soldiers got to enjoy a good dinner together. They ate and drank and ate and drank, and after that they danced. They danced and sang far into the night. See, they're all having fun. They're having fun. At last they were tired. Then the 3 soldiers asked, is there not a loft where we could sleep? Let 3 such wise and splendid gentlemen sleep in a loft. Indeed, they must have the best beds in the village. Look at that. See, now they want to give them their stuff. So the first soldier slept in the priest's house. The second soldier slept in the baker's house. And the third soldier slept in the mayor's house. Ooh, look at that. The priest's house is the smallest. The baker's house gets a little bigger. The mayor's house is pretty big. The third soldier, that's a fancy bed. In the morning, the whole village gathered in the square to give them a send-off. Many thanks for what you have taught us, the peasants said to the soldiers. We shall never go hungry now that we know how to make soup from stones. There it is. They're leaving, saying goodbye. Oh, it's all in knowing how, said the soldiers, and off they went down the road. And this says, such men don't grow on every bush. And final picture, it's just them walking down. So, that was Stone Soup by Marcia Brown. I hope you like it. I thought it was good, kind of funny.
Ezekiel.
What?
Will you please come put the blueberries back in the garage?
Yeah. They didn't exactly make it from stones. But, yeah, it was good. This was Read Aloud with Zeke. I'm Zeke. Please like and subscribe. Bye.